I got to the point where I took some bricks and put it in my purse and zipped it up and swung it because I was just like, I'm tired of this.
Nana is my brother's daughter who lost her life last year.
As a black therapist, right, I come into the space like, yeah, I get it, you can't quit. If there's nothing that I can say but I validate you, because I've been there and I know how it feels, and that shit sucks.
That's deep. I need that. I'm glad you held space for me to share that.
Welcome to another edition of Pain and the Purpose podcast. All right, this edition of Pain and the Purpose podcast, I'm sitting with the lovely Angelique Paige, and today we're going to discuss a few different topics, mainly centered around her losing her 14-year-old son to a bullying incident, and then how her son's father ultimately took his own life as not being able to really deal with the consequences or the feelings of a failure complicated his life just a little bit more and it just pushed him over the edge. So, welcome.
Thank you, Darren.
So, we talked off camera
Hmm.
and we met maybe about a year ago now.
Yeah, year and a half.
And so, when I first heard your story about how you lost your 14-year-old son to a bully, it put mine into perspective because I had my daughter 21 years.
Hmm.
But tell us, for the viewer, someone who just recently lost their child, don't really relive the situation,
Hmm.
but if you can briefly, explain the story, tell your son's story, tell the world his name, and how you process that, because we're all on our grief journey,
Yes,
and
we are.
you've been in your grief journey for how long now?
18 years.
So you a lot further along than a lot of us. So I'm sure you have a lot of insight onto how we can continue and survive ourselves on this grief journey. So tell us a little bit about your son.
Okay. Well, my name is Angelique Paige. I am the mother of Vernon Ennis Jr. that was tragically murdered um, by senseless gun violence, but as a direct result of bullying.
Okay.
And he had been being bullied for about a year, and it was physical. And I reported it. We lived in Union City, California. We moved there. I thought it was a better move from where we were, in the Bay Area, and it wasn't because that area was like infested with gang members, and they were actually generational. Okay, generations of gangs, and so when I moved my boys there, Vernon was 13 and he was going to school at the junior high. That's where it initiated. And it just went on to the point to where it was with him and his friends, his black friends. And so we started caravanning our kids and like, carpooling the kids, everything, if I was at work, one mom would look out for Vernon. He could stay at her house until I got home, vice versa. That's what we did. So then we thought things had died down. We had been reporting it to the police. I know I was. I reported it so many times that I just started saying, hey, give me a police report. Because at first they would just come take an incident report, never give me any type of information, saying that I was concerned about these matters. Went to the schools. Everybody was just acting, sweeping under the rug like it was no big deal. And then it started getting to the point to where we had to physically go out there and say, hey, keep your hands off my child. A lot of people ask me, why didn't you do anything? Why didn't his dad do anything? Why didn't his brother? We did. But that wasn't the solution either. And I always tell people that violence creates violence. So if you go out, sometimes you go out and try to retaliate, it can only make things worse. Okay. So I called myself as a mother, trying to follow the protocol of doing things the right way, and protecting my son. Then when I seen that was failing, then I said, hey, you know what? Well, we will go and say, hey, keep your hands off my child. But then that didn't work. And then ultimately, I told Vernon to stay home the last day of school. I said, don't go to school. You and your brother stay home. Because when I was coming up, my mom, she would keep us home like the last few days of school because she would say that, kids get into fights because, it's no consequences. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to have to, you're not going to get suspended, right? So that was the time that most kids would end up fighting, set up fights. So it was a buzz going around, and I didn't know, around the school. And the school officials had sent home a paper, a newsletter stating that it was racial tension in the area, in the community, right?
Uh-huh.
So I really told my child to stay home from school. But him being 14, he went to school anyways. I remember the morning Vernon went to school that morning that he was killed 4 days before Christmas, 2007. I was laying in my bed, and you know how the front door, when you close the front door, my bedroom had a patio door, so it shook the patio. And I said, Vernon, because I'm just like, I told him not to go to school today,
Yeah.
and because I would have been up to see him off and everything, even take him. I still took my kids to school in high school. So, anyways, I said, but a lot of this stuff had died down too. Don't get me wrong. A lot of it had died down, but it was brewing. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
it was
saying?
just an undercurrent.
Yes. So, I ended up just letting him go ahead and stay at school. But my oldest boy, his brother, he was like, you told me not to go, and I'm not going. He was happy not to go. So for some reason, we just sat up and we just spoke about Vernon all day, just remembering things that he did, cooking jumbo pancakes, putting salt in the ice water. So when you drink it, you spit it out. He was a prankster, right? So he was always doing something. And so he would always hit his brother in the stomach and hit him in the stomach, like straight up. But that because Derek was like rough, he was rougher than Vernon. And so Vernon, he was a mama's boy. So, he would just do things. He was just like, he's a kind of an introvert a little bit. And then he started coming out of his shell. So back to the school, back to the day that he did that. So we were sitting there, we were talking because back then they had Pokemon, and they had I just bought him some shoes, some Nike shoes, some new ones, and a bunk bed because he was growing, right? So I was trying to get him a captain's bed because he was growing. I was like, before I get a big bed. So anyway, so we were just talking about all these things. He had just gotten a job where he was like doing the signs like this.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Like
And
for like a Pizza Hut
yeah,
or
and it
Little
was
Caesars, the Little
like Little
Caesar
Caesars,
man.
but it was for the because Liberty people, they do
Oh,
that, but it was for it was for a mattress company, and
Sleep
so
Train.
Sleep Train is his first little job ever, and so he's such a mom's boy, and he's like, Mom, I got some money, you can have it. The money I made, I said, no, that's give me a little bit, but that's for you. So, anyways, so we were just reminiscing on everything, not knowing that it was for a reason. I guess it was something. I could feel it. I
Yeah.
guess we could feel the tragedy that was about to happen, but we didn't know, And so, anyways, so that day, Vernon went with his friends. He went to his teacher because his teachers were involved in what was going on. They knew they would try to,
They're trying to
intervene in,
mediate.
yeah, with the violence and the kids and all that stuff. So he went to his teacher, Mr. Lindsay, and he said, hey, something is about to go down today. I'm supposed to go, but I don't want to go, right? But his friends were like, come on, come on. So they ended up cutting school. And Mr. Lindsay told him not to go. They ended up cutting school, and they went to Bernard White. They cut Logan, went to Bernard White, because there had been so much happening. And so on this day, Vernon's best friend's little brother that was attending Bernard, he was going to get jumped on by the same gang that had been bullying and jumping on the other boys. So they went over to protect the boy. They got the boy, walked him home, came back to the school, stood by the bus stop. Every Friday they would go to Union Landing, the movie theater. So, and we had been taking them and stuff, but I guess they felt like everything was okay, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So they went to the bus stop. A bus passed by. It was the wrong bus. So now while this bus is passing by, here comes the gang members rolling up. And it's like they're older boys. Vernon and his friends were 14. These guys are like 18, 19 and older. And they're in the SUV. and they're rolling up, and they see Vernon and his friends waiting at the bus stop. They park down the street to 7-Eleven, get out, start walking towards our boys. At this point, my son is like, I'm tired of running from them. They just gonna have to kill me. That's what his friend told me. And I believe it because he's like his mom. He's just tired, he'd been getting beat on and everything, chased home from school and all that. So he stood front and center. And then that's when they came out with the gun. He thought they were gonna fight. So the other boys ran into the school. Vernon ran into the school, but he didn't realize he got hit in the chest. So once he got to the steps, he dropped and collapsed. And the boys, which is really sad, his friends actually watched him outside the big window pane in the office. Yeah, they watched him. So that's the story of my son.
So now, 18 years later, you have a lot of wisdom about losing a child. What can you give someone who just lost a child? First of all, my condolences. Like, that's a deep story, right? And it, even just listening to it now, it touches you. But what can you give someone that's going through this? Like, give me
Oof.
something to help carry me through the day.
Okay. Because you always do that too for us. That's why I admire your strength. And I met other mommies and daddies in this
Thank you.
This circle, on this journey that I admire. I would say definitely always keep a circle. It doesn't, a lot of people think that if you're around other mothers and fathers that lost kids, that you guys are just going to be sitting crying together and depressed together. That can be true in some cases. Don't let that be true. Of course, get it out, but have good, positive, happy times. Communication is key, and learn how not to take things personal. Because I took things personal because of my grief for so long. I just knew everybody was. I wasn't normal anymore, so I just took everything the wrong way, and it pushes people away from you.
I could see that. So basically, build a community
Build a
around
community.
you. And I have a great community, and I tell people that as well. I often tell people, get someone that's a little further down the grief journey than you, and then you share the wisdom that they gave you with somebody that you may come across that's new on the grief journey, or somebody that's interested in knowing how to process that, right? So I've come across a lot of people that haven't lost a child, but they just curious about how we continue to move forward or grow through. And I'm like, some days it ain't all sweet. You know what I
better
mean?
tell them, yeah.
I tell people to give themselves permission to laugh without feeling guilty and cry without feeling weak. So some days you're going to feel happy and it's going to be a good day. But then when those bad days come, give yourself permission to feel those too.
You spoke on that before. I followed you on one of your podcasts, and when you spoke on that, and you were saying, because I used to feel guilty when I used to laugh and be having a good day, and I was like, how could you? And you lost a child. You should never be this happy,
Yeah.
And I used to always say, because I hadn't been married, and how people say, oh, well, your wedding is like the best day of your life or something like that. And I used to always, say, oh, well, I already had the worst day, so I don't know if I'll ever have a best day of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just,
but you got to make space for both.
You do. And I started doing that. I did.
And so we also talked about Vernon's father.
Yeah.
Which ultimately led to another tragedy.
Yes.
I know this maybe wasn't the only situation that contributed to him taking his own life, but I'm sure it didn't help.
True.
And so, how did you process that? and I know y'all probably wasn't together,
True.
but like I said off camera, like there's no way you can go from being madly in love with someone,
Mm-hmm.
deciding to have a child with them, and
Mm-hmm.
then life just life. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
You break up, you go through things, like every relationship go through something,
Oh yeah.
and then
Oh yeah.
you lose him
Mm-hmm.
and
And his dad.
his dad.
Yeah.
Now you lost his dad,
Yeah.
and so
Big Vernon.
how
Mm-hmm.
how do you process that?
That's another thing. So still processing that, because whenever I'm grieving, I'm like, me and the person that made him is not here anymore. Like, who else will understand me,
More than
more
him.
than anybody else? And I could call him. And I'll never forget Big Vernon, um, because we weren't together. And then when I had to call him for his son's funeral, because he's from New Jersey. Actually, me and my kids had moved to New Jersey. We tried to make a life out there. I came back to California. I'm just saying. And Vernon was little. So when Big Vernon came to see his son, um, he seen him in a casket. Okay. And um, I was so mean to him. I regret that. I was so mean to him. So at the funeral, he sat over there. I sat over here. Didn't want to talk to him. Didn't want to see him. My family was like, "Don't treat him like that." And I'm like, "Why not?" But I
it,
regret that to this day.
but you were hurt.
Yeah, and his sister said that. She said, "Angelique, he know you were grieving because I just, I was like, I can't believe because I told him, he said, I thought you were my friend. I said, I will never be your friend, and it was horrible because I didn't have to say that. But I remember he kept telling me, he said, just hold on, just keep holding on. I'll be here. Hey, hold on, but he couldn't hold on.
And so that brings up a whole nother point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because oftentimes the fathers are forgotten
Mm-hmm.
in these moments,
Yeah.
right? I went through something similar where I felt like I was being boxed out,
Mm-hmm.
and so and I just shut down,
Mm.
and so and ironically, last night is one of the first good conversations that me and her mom had.
Good. I'm happy.
But my daughter left us a son, so we got a grandson.
Okay.
And
Congratulations.
thanks. And he's on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
And so by us not really getting along,
Mm-hmm.
I look up and don't get me wrong, I see my grandson but I don't spend as much time with him as I would like to
I understand.
because of the tension that was between me and their mom.
Mm-hmm.
So last night we had our very first conversation
Good.
about how to like mend this so I could be more involved.
In his life.
And I understood that she was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how her hurt translates into her hurting me more. That's what I didn't understand because we both lost a child,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow
Mm-hmm.
now it's just your child.
And you were very active. He
And
wasn't. My son's father wasn't active. So that's where my how I was
and
upset.
and and
Why?
and, it's
Okay.
that's a whole nother like uh situation because like did you feel like Vernon was just yours in the moment, or was you just so consumed by your hurt that you couldn't, or you was just
Mm.
being vindictive? Like,
A lot of everything you just said. Yeah, a lot of everything. Big Vernon was made out of love, like he totally was, and it was just we were from different places.
but life be life, and so
Yeah,
so life could be so good one day
man,
and
man.
so terrible the next,
Whew, I know.
and so and not only just in losing our children, but just period, right?
Everything. Yeah.
So I think if we can help a mother that may be being a little too vindictive towards.
Don't do it. Like, don't do it, because I'm talking about the
Yeah.
parents. Don't do it to one another. Don't. I still regret how mean I was to that man. You know, and he loved our son. You know, he really did.
Definitely.
He was going through some things. You know, I talked with his wife. I talked with his mom. Like, you know, and well, no, not his mom. I'm so sorry. His mom passed. Not his mom. His other mom. I talked with them, and you know, they were like, he was going through so much, but he forgave me for. But how do I know he forgave me? But he did. I'm sure he
Yeah.
did. He's in heaven now.
But so say something to the young mother right now to stop them.
Okay.
And instead of just saying don't do it, like
Okay.
you spoke on it earlier, the regret. Like people think they're tough until they're in this situation where
So your heart is broken.
you can't fix it.
You can't fix it.
So tell that young woman something from that space.
Okay. What I would say is that, like you said, they were both in love when they had the child, or they were in something when they created the child, right? And then from that point on, after losing the child, right? After losing the child, it's nobody's fault. We didn't pull the trigger. You know, neither one of us parents pulled the trigger on our child. We wouldn't want something like this to ever happen. It happened. This should be the time that we really connect, you know, with the other parent. I feel this is a time that they should definitely connect with the other parent, because nobody understands this pain more than the parents do. You know.
I would agree. And so if you out there and you make it to this section of the interview, I would encourage all parents to put their differences to the side.
Exactly.
And be a support system for the other parent, because this pain is a whole nother level of pain.
A whole nother level.
And so like I've lost my mom. I've lost close cousins. Like my very first tattoo was of a cousin, right? So, and I lost my grandmother, which was my superhero.
I hear a lot of men say that. Go ahead.
And so, and none of that equates to losing my child. And to be in the midst of that and then be boxed out by the mother just intensifies that. And so I think that may be the most painful part, is not being a part of the process, right? Of putting our children to rest.
Oh man, I didn't know you were talking. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's hurtful.
Yeah. So with
That's
him being
hurtful,
for him being from New Jersey,
yeah,
I don't know how intricate or involved he was. And
his family called me, and they were like, you know, he's on his way, and whatever you need from us, you know. Luckily, things were planned with victim of a crime, but then we still put more money in. So he did not participate in helping me to plan the services. You know, maybe, and I should have. I was wrong for that. You know, I should have talked to him about that, but I didn't. Dang, you know what? That's hurtful.
So, and that's what I'm saying. So, like these type of conversations,
I didn't think about that.
or to shed light on women be so hurt that it turns into my child.
Yeah.
And I made sure that everything was paid for my child's funeral, to the point where I didn't even attend my child's funeral. I didn't attend. And part of it is I felt boxed out, but another part of it is something that I never wanted to happen. Right. So I don't really believe in funerals and having a bunch of people that really don't rock with me come sit in a building that I probably never been in myself alive. Having somebody that's a pastor that I probably never met or met later on in life try to give my full life story.
Then they said my son's name wrong. So
You know what I'm saying?
because you
So
didn't
it's
know him.
like
Yeah.
it's
You
so
didn't know
many
him.
things
I hear
about the
you.
funeral process that I don't agree with. That I'm not having a funeral.
I'm having a memorial.
And that's what we did for my mom.
Yeah.
Like it took us 2 months because she had some brothers and sisters
Stayed.
out of state, so we gave everybody time to come,
That was
and
nice.
we
Thoughtful.
basically did a family reunion in honor of my mom.
Exactly. That's beautiful.
And so the only thing that really rocked me during that process is when we did the slide of my mom's life. We played a sad song, and that was the only time that the energy was brought down.
Yeah.
So I would recommend, like, I'm going to have a memorial. My brother said I don't got no say so in this, right? Because I ain't gonna be here. But
yeah, but your wishes are okay.
But I'm not having a funeral.
Me neither.
We gonna have a memorial
with some jazz music playing.
Some people gonna get a bracelet with my thumbprint on it.
Okay.
The close people that desire that.
Yeah.
Or they can. I don't have no hair, so they can't have a locket with my hair in it. But
right.
At the end of the day, like I want it to be just people that really rocked with me.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to my daughter's memorial or my daughter's funeral, I said, man, it was over 300-400 people that attended, right? If 200 of those people spent the $200 that they spent on an outfit with her supporting her business,
wow,
she wouldn't have been outside that night.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think like that. So
the support.
So 200 times 200 times 200 is $40,000. We spend way too much money after the fact. Yeah. And $200 is low. Like that's a t-shirt and some shoes. Like I'm not
full
talking
tank of gas and a liquor store rent. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? How people manage their money.
Yeah, but all the bottles that was bought. I just
said the liquor store. Yeah.
And so that's what like people do. If people support people in life like they do in death,
oh yeah,
it'll be a lot less people passing away.
Yeah.
And so back to the point of getting mothers to remove themselves or at least open up the process to the father. Because I'm also talking to a lot of fathers who, some of them didn't want to be a part of the process because it's so painful.
Yeah.
Like the feelings of a failure as a father when it happens are real. And even though we know that we couldn't have did nothing, it don't stop because as like the mother is the nurturer. So the mother goes through a certain set of emotions and feelings as the nurturer, as the person who carried the child, as the person who like took care of the child in an intimate setting. Like you did more bathing of him as a baby, and you probably got all those pictures. And as a father, we are a provider and a protector.
Right.
So when we can't protect our children, it hit us differently. And so not being able to protect our children and then getting hit from someone who at one point told us they loved us. This ain't love. You know what I'm saying? But I think that we just may have unlocked something not only inside the viewer, but inside you as well.
Yeah. And I want to say this too. You did. Because I didn't realize that I was selfish for not letting Vernon's father be a part of that process, that planning, of his homegoing. And then when he got there, for me to treat him so bad, and then it's just so much. But also now you just open up something else because now, what do they call that? My awakening. Okay.
Aha moment.
Yeah, because I think I felt bad because I seen Vernon 3 minutes before he was killed, and I drove right past him, and we looking at each other like I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
And we locked eyes, and he was like looking. I thought he was looking like, Mama, don't embarrass me. But he was looking like, Mama, pick me up. But he didn't know signals or nothing.
Yeah.
So I drove right past him. So I say all that to say, and then he was killed minutes later. I say all that to say is that maybe I was upset with his father because of what I didn't do to protect my son. So I wanted to put the blame on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've never looked at it like that, Big Vernon. I've never looked at it like that. I always talk to everybody in heaven.
I mean, and you know, now I talk to people in heaven too. Like, so I'm glad that we could have that moment. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
and so and these conversations are never meant to make anyone feel bad
No,
but
no,
but
I don't feel like that. I'm glad that I got that awakening though. I
yeah,
understand.
so
Yeah.
so like I like when we can have an open, honest conversation that people really have a aha moment,
Mm-hmm.
and now that you have it, that's something that you can you can share with other women, you know,
And I
because we're
will.
gonna come
I
across
will.
people like you just told me you came across someone who just lost their child. You know
Yeah,
what
it
I mean?
worked. Yeah.
And so like it's only a month. You can pull it to the side now and stop being mean to that man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now that you had the awakening, now you can
Mm-hmm.
go and help somebody
And it'll help the healing process.
and start so you can start their healing process
Yeah.
sooner.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Because if you hold on to bitterness and you hold on to hatred, I went through that the first so many years. And I ended up, the ones that's convicted, they ended up spending time, 5 of them in there, then getting out. I forgive them people. I forgave them people because it was too much. So I forgave the people that actually had something to do with my son being murdered and the murderer. So if I can forgive them, I can forgive anybody. And I just wish that everybody would just start with the forgiveness. I'm not saying you just got to go out there and throwing daisies, I forgive, but I'm just saying you have to start with forgiveness or you just will be so angry and so bitter.
So I got a I got a thing with this forgiveness,
I
right?
understand.
And I'll be like, fuck forgiveness,
I understand.
right?
I'm 18 years in though.
And so maybe I will get there one day.
Right.
But
You're
when
if you're
people
fresh
talk
in
to
your
me
pain.
about forgiveness,
Mm-hmm.
and like I had a pastor call me like 2 days after it happened. It was like, man, you gotta forgive. And I'm like, fuck forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And on the flip side of that, my job now is to still be a good human.
Yeah.
And even though I ain't trying to forgive, I'm not trying to cause more chaos and confusion either.
And
But
that's hard. That's a battle right
I
there.
ask people to just understand that my baby didn't deserve that.
No, she did not.
And so I'm not I'm not trying to cause no chaos, no confusion. I'm not on it's fuck forgiveness, but I'm not on no revenge hype either.
Right. I understand. I understand.
And so that's what people automatically equate that to when you say fuck forgiveness. They automatically equate that to
I would.
he on a revenge tour.
Right.
And I'm not on no revenge because when the incident first happened, like people were bumping to his baby
Mm.
mama and his kids, and I'm like, no
Mm.
women, no children,
Right. Thank you.
and
Oh,
and
thank you.
and
I know
uh
that's hard.
somebody no, it's not hard. That's
Okay.
not hard at all. Like the only person that's responsible for my child not being here is the
Person
person who
that did
pulled the
it.
trigger.
Right. Right.
Not his cousins, not his mama, but we are raised in a society that eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth.
Mm.
And I don't like at 49 years old, I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe that.
Mm-hmm. I don't either. I don't believe in electric chair. None of that.
The only person that's responsible for my child not being here
Mm-hmm.
is the person that pulled the trigger.
And
And
God.
and no, I wouldn't even say I don't. So
Mm-hmm.
here's my take.
Okay.
Everybody say God allows everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I personally don't believe that God woke up that day and said, I'm about to put this nigga through this much pain.
Yeah.
I personally believe that if we believe in good, we have to believe in evil. And sometimes evil run the play in its scores. Every time I've pulled my trigger, I've never thought about God. You know what I mean? So I can't say that that man was thinking about God when he did that. Under no circumstances. Like sometimes evilness run the world or run rampant in the world and it scores. God's job in this situation for me is to keep me safe and sane. So God is working right now by me being able to say that.
Oh, he definitely is.
Although I'm hurt, although I'm always angry, not to let that allow myself to do something
harm to somebody else
that don't deserve it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I also pray that learning emotional intelligence, I've learned the purposeful pause. And so for me, the purposeful pause in this situation would be for him to get his 30 to 40 years. And that's a 30 to 40 year pause between me and him ever meeting each other.
Right.
So that's the best I could do. That's all I got in this situation. I don't have nothing else.
You looking at it correctly.
And so I ain't really looking for nobody, but don't come playing with me.
I'm the same way. I'm like, I'll say, and that's what we like grow. That's what's in us now because of what happened.
And so that's exactly where I'm at with it. And so when Pete, I'm happy that you were able to forgive your sons, murderers or whatever they call them, defendants or plaintiffs, whatever.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So, and that's good that you was able to get to that point and still be. Because I also believe the grief journey is personal, and people got to do what they need to do to keep themselves safe and sane, and not do the same thing that your kid's father did, which is take himself off the board.
Yeah.
Or take someone else off the board that don't deserve it.
Well, see, I had two brothers, and both of them went to prison for murder. So we've been our family. I've been on both sides of the track.
So that's what.
Yeah.
That's probably what helped you.
It is.
That's probably what helped you because you have somebody that you love, that you grew up with, that you share close blood with, that has done the same thing.
That's happened to my son.
And you like, well, I don't deserve to be prosecuted for something that he did, and I don't condone it.
Right.
And that's another thing. Like,
right.
It's nobody out here condoning what he did. Because it's the street rules is no women, no children. So when you cross that street rule, and she was 21.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So there's nobody out here condoning what he did, at least not publicly.
And my condolences if I didn't tell you enough.
And we both share the same condolences. Like we've shared like private conversations, and so it is a few things at play. Understanding that nobody else is responsible for the death of our children except for the people who pulled the trigger. And understanding that we have family members, because I have family members that have committed murder as well. And we're not responsible for what they did. And
you still love them, and you still want them
but
to
we
be
don't
free.
condone what they did.
We did not condone it.
And I didn't show up to court for my family members. And so as of this point, nobody's really showing up for him, right? And so, and just showing up don't mean that you condone it. And
I never even got an apology from the other family, you know? And that's something I would have done. But everybody ain't the same.
But ain't no apology for this.
No, but I would never look at another mother if my child had killed someone. I just, it's even though it's just words, but it's still, you know what I'm saying? Like,
ain't no apology for this. I prefer.
But they were angry. No, I understand what you're saying, but they were angry at me, and
for
I'm like,
family
wow.
for their family member getting caught.
I'm like, wow.
So I pray that this case, because it's still an open case. Like he still haven't went to trial. He still haven't.
Oh, and then they said at that point you're not supposed to talk about it. It's supposed to be a gag order because anything can harm the case.
Yeah. So I really don't talk about it.
Exactly.
Right. So but I just prefer people just don't approach me.
I'm so sorry because I'm telling you, I know what you saying, how you feeling.
Yeah.
It's different because perspective because it's male and female, but it's like I'm telling you, I was there so bad that first year or two, so bad. Every time I wake up, I'd be like, "Is this real?
Yeah,
I can't believe this really happened."
And so we just doing our best to be good people.
Yep. Because sometimes I'll be like, "F it. Why should I?" But then I'm like, "Because you should."
Because you should.
And my baby's looking down. Your baby's looking down.
And so losing her or having her taken away from me allowed me to now get on camera and have conversations like this.
That's right.
And Nana will always live because
that's right.
Like now, every time somebody view this video, she's over your shoulder right now.
Oh.
So
I'm so proud of you, man.
So
I'm so proud of you.
So
I'm so proud of you.
She'll like it. I do things like that.
That's right. That's right.
So
yeah,
I process things a lot differently than a lot of people, but I also know that men won't talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the purpose for me talking is to help other men who won't talk, and eventually more men will talk because talking, not necessarily on camera, but
I know what you're saying. Right.
Helps process the pain and prevent.
Yes, prevent. That's my mission. Identify, report, prevent.
And it'll prevent things like Big Vernon taking himself off the board.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't have nobody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? And eventually the pain and the problems just overpowered.
Yeah, because he had just gotten married. Like I think they said, his wife said they had been married like a year and a half or something. They didn't have kids together. So like I said, it would seem like he was in a happy space. You know what I'm saying? But
we all seem like we're in a happy space sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
Right. And
it's like a masquerade.
It's not even a masquerade.
A mask.
From a kid. This topic happens to come up in a lot of conversations. Men are trained from as a kid
to not cry and be strong,
to mask their emotions, and then as an adult, now we have to try to figure out how to process these emotions that we've been trained our whole life to hide.
Yeah.
Lucky for me, I've always kind of been like an emotional person, and I've always been one to stand up. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because I was bullied as a kid, and then I turned into the bully.
It happens.
And then I turned into the person that once I passed the bully phase or all the fights in middle school and high school, right? And I guess position myself in a space to where I could talk to people now. So now I'm like,
why were you bullying though? Was it because you had been bullied, or you just
hurt people? And you get tired of being picked on. You get tired of. I was forced to go to a school in a rival neighborhood.
Oh,
and so for like my middle school years is a lot of my homeboys wouldn't go to school, but if I missed school, my dad will beat me or whoop me. You know what I'm saying? They call them whoopings back then. But
you said beatings. That's a beating.
But now what they consider, what our parents consider whoopings, if we did that to our grandchildren,
that's abuse.
That's abuse.
Go to jail.
So if it's
I didn't have extension cords and telephone cords.
So if it's abuse now, it was abuse then. We just got to look at it in retrospect, right?
Yeah.
So that's not no shade or no shot towards my pop.
Right.
I believe that it helped me, right? Because getting beat up in middle school and jumped and all that taught me how to fight. And it taught me how to fight multiple people at one time, right? So, and then once people realize that you're not scared, and I'm coming to school,
they'll leave you alone.
I'll fight you every day. I'm not getting whooped by this dude. Like
right. I'd rather come.
I can't
fight
whoop
you,
him,
right?
and I can't whoop him under no circumstances.
I had a better chance of fighting.
I got a better chance of fighting you than I do
Right,
him. So I'm just
right.
gonna come to school. I may not get the best grades.
I used to get bullied.
but I'm here, and so
I got to the point where I took some bricks and put it in my purse and zipped it up and swung it because I was just like, I'm tired of this, you know.
and so like so, I also think that we should go back to schools. Like I'm designing a program for youth and young adults to prevent these type of things. It's called Give Tomorrow a Chance. Its main focus is suicide ideation and youth and young adults, but it also helps build resilience and emotional intelligence. So
I like that.
It's teaching young people how to control themselves.
I'm doing conflict resolution, prevention of bullying, and the same pretty much in communication skills so that they don't just result in violence all the time.
And so that's how we prevent.
That's how we give back.
That's how we give back, and
that's
we try to prevent other situations like this from happening. I think that was like a dope conversation, but I also know that you suffered a lot of losses.
Oh yeah, just recently.
So
I'm numb now.
So I was gonna ask you. So how are you today?
Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. Yeah, I'm strong, and I tell myself that. You know, I used to didn't think that, but I'm strong because I'm basically in this world by myself right now.
It's okay. Are you strong or are you resilient?
I'm both. Because
I'm about to say, don't make me cut the cameras off.
No, I'm fine. This be happening, and then we be back straight. So, anyways, but no, it's just crazy because lost my mom. Well, I planned these funerals like my mom, my dad, my sister. Planned that with my mom 3 months before my son. And my sister was 21. She had lupus. My best friend, my little sis, my daughter. She was everything to me. And she died at 21, 3 months before my son was murdered. So it was just that I went crazy around that time. But then also, my brother just got poisoned with fentanyl, and we just signed the papers for him to be a donor. He's an organ donor. He saved 5 lives, and many more.
Take a minute.
I'm fine. And then the little stuff, right? I can get through anything if I can get through all this stuff. My 2 cousins, like everybody's just dying, man. 2 good friends of mine I went to school with just died. Like I've been them since I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, damn, we the same age. But then recently, my personal part that can be fixed, because death, we can never bring people back from the dead, right?
Yeah.
I used to think that. I'm gonna tell you a funny story about that. When Vernon died, I was like, Lazarus, because I was raised like that. Mom and them was like, Jesus can do anything. So, anyways, but honestly, like I'm moving, the process of moving. So I just put all my stuff in storage, right? In public storage, right? Everything, okay? And my stuff for my nonprofit organization, supplies, everything. And it flooded the storage unit.
That's not good.
The whole facility. It smells like mildew. So
that's not good.
I know. And so I said, okay, then I'm gonna move out this way, Tracy, hour and a half ride to, my job. I said, what is going on? I work nights, so when I'm driving, I'm just like, I said, but if you can lose your child, you know what I'm saying? You can get through anything.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that's where I'm at with that.
Losing Nana definitely put me in a space that I fear losing another child.
Of course.
But
Of course.
anything outside of that,
you got this.
I got this.
We got this. I mean,
I tell myself that all the time.
Me too.
Anything besides losing another child,
yeah.
I got this.
I have friends that have
I-
lost multiple
And so
children.
on this journey, I've come
Yeah.
across maybe 3 or 4 men who's lost multiple children, and then some of them lost multiple children to gun violence. And so
I couldn't imagine. I'm close friends with some. I'm like, oh my God.
And so I firmly believe that, like I said in the beginning, me having a conversation with you and you lost your child at 14, or your child was taken away from you at 14, it made me appreciate that I had mine for 21. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she still was a baby, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
So, and then I talked to the mother who child was taken at 10.
Man, see?
And so it's like,
yes.
the more you talk, so that's part of building a community, or at least speaking about it. The more you hear other people's stories, and as tragic as the other stories are, it kind of make you it kind of make you put yours into a different perspective, and you appreciate more. Like, I appreciate the fact that me and my child was rocking together, and I had just spent 2 hours with her the day before having a beautiful conversation.
Oh wow!
Which was bittersweet in the beginning, but then before my stepmom passed, I was still in the streets. I sold weed. I just happened to stop by my parents' house, and so my stepmom asked me for some weed, and as she broke it down and rolled it up,
you're so transparent.
She sat down on the steps, and she broke her weed down, rolled it up, and as she began to smoke it, we had a nice conversation. I had just had my son, and so she was telling me how proud she was of me. We had a beautiful conversation, and then I went on to go do whatever I was doing, and then a few hours later, I got the phone call that she was deceased. Like she smoked her weed, she ate her food or whatever, and then she went to sleep.
Laid down and went to sleep.
That's
how I want to go.
And so, but we had already knew that she had heart problems for years.
Okay.
And so we already had her. She already beat the odds for so long that it was no longer a thought.
Yeah, it's just like it's gonna happen.
No. She was perfectly.
Oh, I thought you were saying. Okay, I'm sorry.
No. So when she beat the odds, it's like she was living a normal life, and so in the back of our minds, we knew that she had a heart problem, but we didn't know that it was an any day type thing.
See, that's what I thought. So
it's not like she was sick or nothing like that. Like I say, she rolled her weed, smoked it. Like, we had a beautiful conversation, and me and my stepmom had a rocky beginning, right? And so for us to be able to have that conversation, and her to tell me that, she was proud of me.
That's right.
Take care of your son.
That's
raise
right.
Your daughters.
That was God.
You know what I mean? And me going to go do some shit I had no business doing, and getting a phone call, and having to rush to the hospital.
Yeah.
So and then even with my cousin, that morning we woke up, we was living together. We was able to share a beautiful moment together, get in our cars, race to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm 21, 22.
Yeah, 22, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I worked in San Jose at a company called Acer with his older brother.
Okay.
So by the time I get to work with his older brother had got the phone call that his younger brother, which is my cousin, was passed out at work, and they rushed him to the hospital. By the time we made it to the hospital, he was gone. But that morning we had a beautiful interaction. So I take that as like the final goodbyes.
I have had those too. God always placed people that's about to leave, place me right there with them. At first, I thought it was a curse, but it's not.
It's not. Just like
it's like you.
It's like a beautiful ending to a great story.
We must need that. You know what I'm saying?
And I think in some situations that we do need it, right? And so For a
this
long
sounds very
time,
familiar.
I wasn't I'm not a real religious person. Like
Hmm.
I guess you would call me spiritual because I believe that I just got
I'm spiritual.
I got a connection with the higher power. I don't really need to go sit in church. I can sit right here and have a conversation with him. And
Hmm.
so like I'm 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 wired like that.
Okay.
Every now and again I used to go to church and I'm close with a few pastors.
Hmm.
And so I might pop up at church, I may not.
Yeah.
I haven't been to church in probably the last 5 or 6 years, but even then, when the situation happened with my daughter, my pastor, I went and sat down and had breakfast with him, and
Mm.
he was one of the first ones to say, "This what we not doing. Don't do
Okay.
this. Don't
Okay.
do that. I know your mentality. I know,
Okay.
like that's not what we doing. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
it's like,
Well, you seem to be balancing
yeah,
your energy pretty
death is
good.
definitely something that we'll continue to deal with for the rest of our lives,
The
and then
rest
losing
of
a child just
the
makes it
rest
that
of
much more difficult to deal with.
man. So sometimes I'm just to myself and I'm just like, wow, just wow. That's all I can say. But I'm gonna say this: when you said something about the higher power, right? And I'm sharing this because I'm sharing it. That's why. Think it'll help. Okay, so with one of my coping mechanisms with my son, I drink wine. I drink Chardonnay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was drinking my wine, just drinking my little pain away. And my son say, "Mama, you don't even drink. Leave me alone." So that's my thing now. So I got to the point where I said, "This is too much, and I am ready to stop." So I had went to a place to help me with that. I didn't need it like that though. Because when I got there, I was like, ooh, I ain't like them. I ain't like this. I ain't like, I gotta go, right? But I met some nice people, all walks of life, for real. And so I said, I don't know, this ain't for me. So I'm sitting in there and, and I'm like, hi, my name is Angelique and I am an alcoholic. And they're like, what's your drug of choice? I'm like, Chardonnay wine. So then I'm sitting there and I'm still like, I don't know about this. The man started talking and he said something about your higher power. And so I said, I don't like when people say higher power or grand rising. That's just, I grew up,
Yeah,
we grew up in certain households, right?
yeah,
Now like you said, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. But my mom was super duper religious, and so is my grandma and the rest of the family. So I was raised that God could do anything. I really believe in that, right? So they said higher power. I said, oh, I don't believe in higher power. I said, I believe in God. And I said, what is higher power? So they explained it. And they said, that's anything that you put before yourself, anything that's more important to you than anything in this life. And you know what, Darren? I had my breakthrough at that moment because my higher power used to be Vernon. He came before myself and anything in his death.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I realized that, and that really, I was like, I can go now, because I was like, I got my breakthrough because I put him before my other kids. I put him before any relationship. I put him before work. If I didn't feel like going in because I was sad, I'm called PTO. It don't work like that.
yeah.
You know what
Don't
I'm saying? But I'm just saying,
you gonna be calling
be
unemployment in
fired, right?
the, you gonna call unemployment in a
Right.
minute.
Seriously, but I'm just saying that my son was my higher power. I'm talking about I put him before God. That's how bad losing Vernon hurt me. So I had to, this
Yeah,
journey. You
that's part of
learn,
your
you figure things out.
journey. That's what,
Yeah.
and I'd like to tell people that I don't really like the cliche saying that grief is love with nowhere to go.
Mm,
I say grief is love, and it knew exactly where to go. It landed
mm.
inside you,
Oh, you
and
done
that
went deep.
and now it's time for you to carry that love
Mm.
forward.
Wow.
So when
Wow.
people tell you grief is love with nowhere to go, nah, it hits you. Like you know
Mm.
exactly where to go.
Where would you say you at with it right now? With the grief? With
I'm just on my journey.
on my journey. I used to always look at it like I'm a little quirky sometimes, okay? But so I used to look at it like, okay, this is the tunnel, right? And this is the light. This is the dark where I came in. It's raining. It's all dark and everything. And then so I used to be like, okay, I'm right here. I'm like this much in it. Then I'm like, okay, I'm in the middle of it now. Well, now I can see the bright light. I can see, I can see a better day, a brighter day.
I'm just on my journey.
I know.
Today is a good day.
But today is a good day.
tomorrow might not be.
Exactly.
You know
That's
what I
how I
mean?
was living.
So, and I think that as we progress on our grief journey, the triggers get less and less intense, but you still get triggered. You still have your moments.
I got triggered today, but I just be quiet. Sometimes when it's like that, just don't say nothing, don't do nothing.
Every time activating event happens, you have so many previous activating events that now you know what to do when it hits you.
Yeah.
So like
yeah,
the within the first, so Nana was taken from me April 23rd, and like June I went on a cruise, which happened to be to the same space.
Oh wow.
That I took my daughter, and so
how was that?
I couldn't leave out the room. I couldn't leave out the room because I'm watching other fathers play with their child.
Oh, I've been through that.
And so now, then I went to a space where when I see a father playing with his daughter, I'd say something to him like, make sure
tell him about your
make sure you capture. No, not telling him about my story. Capture the moment. And then I realized that may be overstepping my boundary. So now I've learned to just admire it from afar, right? But that's the journey of processing, watching another father. It went from anger, because why don't I get that same opportunity with my baby? And then it went from sadness. Then it went from, well, let me tell them what they should be doing.
And I've been there. And people, my cousins like, you better get out of people's business like that.
And so so I think that's a natural progression of your grief.
And we're still parents. Even though the kids are gone, we're still a parent.
We're still their parents.
Their parents, yeah.
And I still got 3 other children.
Yes.
And so like at the end of the day, well, actually I got 4 other children.
I have 2.
I can't keep cutting out Shanae. Shanae is my wife's older daughter. She's 34. And
we don't be cutting out Shanae.
Yeah, I ain't cutting Shanae, I apologize. So I got 4 children.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, I have a whole lot of them stepchildren, but I'm not married, but they still contact me.
So it's like realizing, I think part of the grief journey is also realizing where you at in it and understanding that, like I said in the beginning, we'll always be healing. We'll never be completely healed. This is not nothing that you heal from. And that's why I wrote the book, The Grief Cycle is Bullshit.
I was going to bring that up. And it is.
Because there's no stages to this thing. Grief is not in no neat little stages. It's a journey.
And I don't like how people expect you to grieve a certain kind of way. That's when I get pissed. If I ever you want me to get pissed, I'd be like, I know you lying. I know you ain't trying to tell me nothing.
and so that's how that book came apart. And that was my first attempt at talking about it.
That's a deep book.
Right. Thank you. But I got another book coming out.
I do too.
And so I haven't figured out the title of it, but it's going to touch on, because we've both experienced it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The grief. Well, I haven't lost a sibling yet, but I've talked to people who lost siblings.
Yeah.
But I lost a parent.
Yes.
And I lost a child.
Yes.
Right?
And it's different.
It's different.
It's different. And I'm so serious. And some days they take turns at hitting me. Different ones come in my memories, you know what I'm saying, in my heart.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
so then I've talked to people who've lost their spouse.
Oh, and I can't relate to that. But I mean, they said it's like losing a child or a mom.
So in my research, losing a child is top. Losing a sibling is right up underneath that. And most people think losing a parent
would be the top. But
so losing a child goes without saying. That's a part of you that you literally lost.
And it's shocking.
Losing a sibling, especially if y'all were close, if y'all grew up in the same house, if y'all grew up in the same house,
room, same house,
y'all have secrets that nobody else.
My son always tells me that about my Vernon.
So you will never know that pain, right? And then losing a parent. It's painful and it's devastating, and I don't take nothing away from it.
I understand.
But that's the natural cycle of life.
The natural cycle. We knew that's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then, losing
Yeah.
a grandmother is even more natural. So
Yeah.
it hits
I
you a
when you
lot less.
said that though, but grandmothers are so nurturing.
Grandmothers are so nurturing.
Yeah.
But I lost at the age I lost my grandmother, she was still my superhero.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So that hit differently. But
Mm-hmm.
now I've experienced all these, and there's nothing compares to losing a child. So the research,
And I hate to say that too, but that is the truth.
but
It's not that we putting like a measuring the
no, that's
love
just
and
the way it
stuff.
is.
It's just the way it is.
I don't try to explain it. I don't try.
Because I can't explain it. It's just how I
That's just the
feel.
way it
It's
is.
just how I
And
feel.
so
Yeah.
anybody out there experiencing any kind of loss, just understand that it all hurts, and it's all something tough to process.
It is, and everybody's different. Because
And everybody's
some
different.
people, like when I lost my child, I had somebody crying on my shoulders about them having to pay their PG&E bill, and I was like, ugh. But what I'm saying is,
And that's why I keep
everybody's
people away from me.
right, because it's like what? But everybody processes disappointment or stress or grief differently.
Yeah, we
You
do.
know, I used to,
We all
yeah.
individuals though. We all
Mhm.
supposed to process things differently.
Yeah. I just pray for everybody now. It's hard for me to watch the news because when I watch the news
I
and
don't.
somebody's child's taken, I'll be like crying for
This
the
TV
parent.
behind me don't never come on.
Man, my mama, she used to do that. She didn't watch TV. I was like, well, you even got one. But she didn't watch
Yeah,
TV.
I don't watch TV. I don't do anything. So, in closing, I think that
Okay.
was a great.
Okay.
I think that was a great conversation. But
Yeah.
leave us with something that because you 18 years deep into this grief journey, leave us with something to help us make it to 18 years.
Take your time. Be patient with yourself. Please, the best if you can, get the hatred out your heart, out your soul, out your spirit. Be patient with others because we are so delicate that
Yeah.
anything can trigger us or make us explode. And also, it'll cause health issues. You'll be in the grave next to your child. Okay. And just as far as with the other parent, please do the right thing. Please just understand, like, what if the shoe was on the other foot and that person felt that way about you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then just, come together, communicate, just love, just that child is looking down. And that child is not going to be happy until we really fix these problems and make things right with one another.
With that being said, thank you for watching this episode of the Pain and the Purpose podcast with Angelique Paige, and we'll catch you next week.
Thank you. No bullying in the building. Thank you for having me. The Vernon Foundation, shining a light on bullying. Thank you so much.